我睇望下前面嘅傳媒朋友。
Please look at the camera at the front.
我哋可以望下右手邊嘅傳媒朋友。
To the right, please.
好，跟住可以左手邊嘅傳媒朋友。
Now to the left.
係啦，可以望下比較上面嘅傳媒朋友啊，唔該。
Those at the back, high up.
好 ，OK， 我諗我哋嘅拍照時間都差唔多啦。
That's all for photos. Thank you. Now we ask the Chief Executive to speak. First of all, I'd like to thank friends from the media for coming to this special press conference. People of Hong Kong, I announce that today the Central People's Government, in accordance with the relevant provisions of the Basic Law and based on our suggestion and nomination, made a decision to appoint Ms. Mabel Chen to become the Secretary for Transport and Logistics and Ms. Rosanna Law to become the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. At the same time, Mr. Kevin Yeung is removed from his office as the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, and Mr. Lam Sai-hung will be removed from his office as the Secretary for Transport and Logistics. The two gentlemen have made great contributions to society. I thank them for their contributions and I wish them all the best. The two newly appointed principal officials, namely Ms. Mabel Chen, Secretary for Transport and Logistics, and Ms. Rosanna Law, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, have served in the government for over 35 years. They have given us their excellent performance. They are very experienced in public administration. I recognize their capabilities in analyzing the situation and the ability to explain things in a very clear way. They identify with my philosophy in governance. I'm very confident that they will persevere in the leadership of the bureaus to seize opportunities and overcome difficulties. They will serve Hong Kong people unreservedly and make contributions. I will ask the two secretaries to speak. First of all, I'll invite Ms. Mabel Chen to speak. I am honored to be nominated by the Chief Executive and the appointment of the CPG to become the Secretary for Transport and Logistics. I am honored. The 14th Five-Year Plan states that Hong Kong is an international shipping center and shipping and transportation aviation hub. Hong Kong has excellent ports and airports. I will lead my bureau and 4 departments to strive for opportunities to change and take forward various infrastructural projects, land, sea, and air. We will leverage our advantage of our connections with the world and the support of our country. We will actively integrate into the development of the Greater Bay Area. In terms of aviation industry, as instructed by the Chief Executive, we will fully support the aviation sector to resume their full capacity to enhance connections with mainland cities and to expand our aviation network in the international arena, as well as to use our third runway. In terms of shipping, we will enhance communications with the sector. We will strive to change and overcome difficulties. We will actively develop green ports, promote digitalization, and enhance cooperation with other port areas. At the same time, we will promote and develop our high value adding services in order to enhance Hong Kong's competitiveness. I will also lead my team to use our innovation in technology and policy to implement various initiatives in the transport blueprint. Hong Kong's transportation network has been the pioneer of the world. I will lead various service units to provide safe, highly efficient, and affordable public transportation to the general public. I will also work with the sector to reform to meet the needs of the public. Next year, the Kai Tak Sports Park will be commissioned. This is a major project of the Hong Kong SAR. My team and I will fully cooperate with the CSTB Security Bureau and relevant units to take forward the stress test and to improve on transportation services. Recently, the central authorities has resumed the individual visit scheme of Shenzhen residents and permit holders. I've already given instructions to the Transport Department as well as service providers to enhance cross-boundary transportation services to meet the additional needs. In the future, I will fully support the Chief Executive. I will be dedicated, conscientious. I will uphold the basic law and do my best to contribute to the long-term prosperity and stability of Hong Kong. I will maintain communications with various sectors. I will keep an open mind, listen to comments, and not be afraid to change. I will also tell good stories of Hong Kong and those of the transportation sector.
Secretary Ms. Law will take the floor. First of all, I'm sincerely grateful to the Chief Executive for making the nomination for the Central People's Government to appoint me as the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. So that I'm given this opportunity as the Secretary to continue to serve Hong Kong. It is my honor, and I feel that there is a lot of responsibility on my shoulder. I thank the Chief Executive for his trust in me. I am going to be fully dedicated to supporting the Chief Executive, and I will also stay united with principal officials as well as the civil service in completing tasks. I'm going to not going to fail the Chief Executive's expectations. Culture, sports, and tourism are important policy areas. They are closely related to people's livelihood. It is also important that we showcase our unique charm in our culture and our characteristics, and this is a very important platform for us to tell good stories of Hong Kong. There are ample opportunities. After I assume office, I am going to discuss with the stakeholders on how we will benefit from the central government's measures. including the gift of the pair of pandas as well as the multi-entry IVS scheme for Shenzhen residents. We will also actively prepare for the full commissioning of the Kai Tak Sports Park. Together with the Guangdong province and Macau SAR government, we will jointly hold the 15th National Games so that we give a rich experience and an enjoyable experience for locals and visitors alike. I am fully aware of the responsibility as secretary, and of course, I understand the challenges facing me. At the same time, I understand that the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau has been making an all-out effort in implementing initiatives, and our colleagues have laid a very solid foundation for our work ahead. I will continue to work with my colleagues, and under my leadership, we will take great strides forward. I will also liaise with our counterparts and stakeholders with humility, and we will continue to foster a greater understanding. And meanwhile, I will be listening to the views of stakeholders. I look forward to joining hands with all stakeholders in promoting the further development of culture, sports, and tourism in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Now the floor's open for questions. I asked the two secretaries to go to the waiting room. Now the floor's open for questions. When you're named, please identify your media outlet and don't ask for more than 2 questions. Good morning, I'm from Singtao. What is the reason for the change of officials? Is it because of the rumored message that the 2 former secretaries did not do well in relation to mega events and the sports parks? Is it because the 2 bureaus that are interrelated did not perform well? And have you taken stock of the performance of all secretaries? Now we have a deficit. Would you give instructions for those relating to financial services to do better? I have been observing the situation for quite some time, and I have also taken stock of what I plan to do in the future. We have gone through the epidemic. We have also gone through Black Lives Violence in 2019. We have lost time. I've always been saying that we need to catch up. I have planned to do a lot of work. I want to create the biggest societal and economic benefits for Hong Kong. I think the 2 new secretaries will make good use of their leadership and their ability to explain policies clearly. This is in line with what I want to do. As I said at the very outset, I would like my team to be proactive and to be result-oriented. They should also strive to do better. It's based on these reasons that I make nominations and suggestions to the central authorities to appoint Ms. Chen and Ms. Law. I'm very glad that the 2 new secretaries have shown their sense of commitment, passion, as well as their support to me when I made the nomination. I am sure that the 2 secretaries will do a lot more after they've taken office, especially in the 2 areas, namely transport and logistics, as well as culture, sports, and tourism. They will be able to deliver and to do more for Hong Kong people and visitors. With the 2 new secretaries, I'm very sure that my team have met all my requirements and aspirations. I have a team that are dedicated and pragmatic. I believe that my team will stay united They complement, the different members complement one another. They work as a team to make contributions for the betterment of Hong Kong. Each secretary faces different difficulties. The government exists to solve problems. We've been solving problems. Some have been successfully resolved, and some are still being worked on. We will be humble. We will listen to views of the public. We want to maximize social benefits. We are result-oriented. We strive to do better all the time. Next question. The lady in purple. I'm from TBB. What's the principle for the change of secretaries? What's the reason for the decision? There has been saying that in relation to Mr. Chia Chin-wan, the SEE has not done very well in relation to the handling of waste charging. Why is it that he's not included this time? As I said in my opening speech and in my reply to the previous answer, that I have been making observations and I've taken stock of what I need to do in the future before I make a decision. I want to have a team and I want to have secretaries that will be able to deliver what I have in mind. I recognize the leadership and their ability to explain, as well as the proactiveness of Ms. Chen and Ms. Law. I believe that they will be able to deliver what I have in mind. Different bureaus, different secretaries face different challenges and difficulties. The secretary and their team work tirelessly to overcome difficulties every single day. They have successfully overcome some difficulties and are working on others. Of course, they will hear different views. I'm sure that every secretary will be dedicated to do well. I believe that with the continuous endeavor of my team, we will come up with a solution for every problem. The efficiency of the Hong Kong government ranks the third every year in the world. This shows the performance of civil servants in their different posts and positions. I believe that we face problems just like any other government. We resolve some difficulties and work on the others. I do believe that my decision is in line with my philosophy and the direction of my governance. Every one of us will be dedicated to maximize the benefits for our society.
Let's have an English question. Left-hand side, second row. Chief Executive, sorry, this is another Chinese question. Now, for the outgoing Secretary, Mr. Kevin Yang, we understand that he started as a civil servant. He later became Secretary for Education before being appointed as Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. Now, whereas for Ms. Rosanna Law, she was Deputy Commissioner for Tourism, but she didn't seem to be very familiar with arts or culture. Are you concerned? Well, I think that there is no one that can be a know-it-all. What's important is her passion and her dedication and her leadership abilities. As a secretary, one should meet the following criteria. That's according to my 2 years experience as chief executive. In my team, we do have people with expertise and professional knowledge. The proposals put forward by my team of civil servants are formulated according to their professional knowledge. Now, for the secretary, it's not for her to know everything. No official will have hands-on knowledge on the work of all 15 bureaus. So what is important is for her to have leadership qualities. That means a secretary should step in whenever there is a problem in a timely manner to help the colleagues solve problems, and also be able to pull together collective wisdom in both her team and the community. She should be supported by a good team for policies to be implemented. So the leadership ability is of utmost importance. It is equally important for a secretary to be able to explain policies well. We need to level with the public the objective and the challenges entailed in a policy. We need to garner the public support. There is never a perfect policy that is flawless. As I mentioned in the policy, we need to be vigilant against the possibility of creating a problem as a result of striving to achieve something. So despite solving 95% of a problem, the secretary should continue to find ways to solve the remaining 5% of the problem. And that is why when I invited Ms. Mabel Chan and Ms. Rosanna Law to join my team, I consider their qualities. With the joint effort of department secretaries and bureau chiefs across 15 policy bureaus, I'm sure that secretaries possessing these qualities will help me formulate policies and enhance governance. Next question, this gentleman on the left-hand side.
Certainly, some English questions from the South China Morning Post. So firstly, we wanted to ask about your consideration in why you decided to replace Leung and Lam in your administration, especially at this point during in your term. Does this move mean that your criteria for the continued service of your officials under your administration has changed? And if so, what are these criteria? Are there any officials at risk of being replaced in the future if they do not meet these expectations? And secondly, what do you hope for these two new ministers to accomplish, as they have only 2 years or so to deliver on your government's promises? And what are your expectations that you have set for them so far? Thank you.
I have made my decision through a period of observation and judge what I want to do in the years to come, and assess what will make my governance even more effective and fulfilling. I appreciate the leadership, the articulation skill, and also the proactiveness of Ms. Chan and Ms. Law, because this is exactly what I need in the years to come to ensure that we will reap the best results, and also to ensure good governance. I regard the importance of a leader being, first of all, forthcoming, being able to anticipate problem, find solutions, and also build up the team. And the leadership skill, articulation skill, and also the proactiveness of Ms. Chan and Ms. Law fits exactly my requirement and what I regard are the essential success factor of a leader, of a secretary. And this is the reason why I make my decision. Second, I want to create the best result in the shortest period of time for Hong Kong, because we have lost time during COVID. We have lost time because of 2019 riots and black violence. So I have said many times, I want to recover the time. I want to chase back the results and time. And I see the strengths of the two newly appointed secretaries. They will be assisting me more to realize my goal of ensuring result and also doing as much work as possible in the coming years. I am pleased with the team I have now, with the two newly appointed secretaries joining us. All the team members now are able people who will be implementing my governance philosophies and aims, and are willing to take up challenges, make tough decisions, build the teams, and lead the officials to do what will be in alignment with my governance philosophy and aims. So I'm very confident my present team will work closely with me, unite together, and produce the best result of governance, serving the best interests of Hong Kong. 2 years and a half is a long time. I have assumed office for 2.5 years, and I think the majority of the community, by and large, agree with the policy aims and strategies that I've set. And there are some independent assessments of what Hong Kong has been performing in these 2.5 years. For example, a lot of rankings when compared with our global competitors. We have moved up places, including in the area of International Financial Center. We're now back on the 3rd. And we have also increased our competitiveness. We're number 5. And we have actually made progress in a lot of areas. So 2.5 years is a long time. And I do think that we can make the best use of this period to create the best result and most result for the people of Hong Kong, so that we can all reap the benefits of our economic development and also other policy measures.
好，下一條，第二項。
Next question, the gentleman in black.
Former Secretary Yang oversaw projects meant to boost Hong Kong's appeal to tourists after the pandemic, such as mega events, night vibes, and Happy Hong Kong. Does his departure mean that those projects have failed? And how can Secretary Law do better to win back tourists? My second question is, the two ministers are part of your government of patriots administering Hong Kong. With today's move, are you sending a signal that being a patriot is not enough and that a patriot can also lose their job if they are incompetent? And there were also reports earlier that you wanted to sack some of these ministers earlier, but Beijing intervened to avoid the appearance of infighting and disunity. Is this true?
First of all, I have said that since the departure of the secretaries, then I am not going to comment. But I really think that they have contributing their best, make their best efforts for Hong Kong. So I thank them sincerely, and I hope that they will have a good life, happy life after their departure. Each bureau faces different challenges and problems. That is the purpose of existence of the government. We will try to solve problems every day. Some problems we may have solved already. Some problems may need longer time to solve. But like any other city's government, we have problems to solve and problems pending to solve. One thing I'm very confident of is all the civil service officials working in the government, whatever bureau it is, they are fully committed and they serve with the purpose of contributing to Hong Kong. There are challenges every day, but they will continue to contribute the best. And I think with the appointment of Ms. Law, who impresses me as a leader who has good leadership skill, being proactive and good articulation skill, then the contributions the officials made in her bureau will be realized, and appreciated by the people of Hong Kong. That is my philosophy of governance. Yes, everybody should work hard, but the leader should build a team to ensure that they will synergize, they will align, and 1 + 1 bigger than 2, and also to explain policies to the community so that they understand the philosophy, the thinking, the challenges, the risks, and the costs, and in due course, understand why all these policies are made, and what are the benefits, and what are the price that we have to pay, so that they will appreciate the philosophy, and then will be able to support. I think Ms. Law can do that and fulfill my requirement. And I'm sure that in the coming 2.5 years, she will be exercising strong leadership. She will be ensuring the major issues that are under the parameter of the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau will be well taken care of. And I also have strong confidence that she will be bringing a feeling of new page and fresh air to the overall implementation of policy. And one other thing is, we are looking at people who will be doing things under the philosophy there's never the best, only the better. Yes, those who join the government must be patriots, but I do not think it is right to try to create differences in a way that mislead people. All the people who have joined the government are patriots, and I thank them for all their work. But I want to do more in these 2.5 years. I want to get the people that will fit my criteria in building more results and ensuring the community understands and appreciates government policies. And I think I've got the best choices.
好，第一節嘅最尾一條題目。
Last reporter to ask question in this segment, the gentleman there. I'm from Ming Pao first. In relation to the 2 new secretaries, do they have citizenship in other countries? If so, how will you deal with it? In June, when you're interviewed, you said that the team at that time met your requirement, but it's just 5 months ago. What happened? You said a number of times that the newly appointed secretaries have leadership and they are articulate? Does it mean that those who are outgoing lack these qualities? Mr. Yeung just announced the blueprints for art, culture, and creative industries. Is it a trigger that he submitted that late? Can you elaborate on the reason for their removal so that you can dispel concerns of the public and to enhance transparency? Well, the two newly appointed secretaries met the requirements of the Basic Law. I've already explained that my governance philosophy is to always do better. The decision I've made in relation to the two secretaries meet my philosophy that we can always do better. The two secretaries have strong leadership skills. They are articulate and they are proactive. They will lead the two bureaus to scale new heights. Thank you. That is the end of the first segment. We will start the second segment shortly. Let's start the second segment of the press conference. We will have Ms. Mabel Chan, the newly appointed Secretary for Transport and Logistics.
We
will first hear from the Secretary. Friends from the media, people of Hong Kong, my work in the Bureau covers 4 areas. First, in relation to transportation infrastructure. Railway is the backbone of public transport in Hong Kong. We need a highly efficient network with wide coverage. We need to meet the needs of the public. We want to facilitate the transportation of goods, and we want one that creates economic benefits. I will lead my team to take forward various railway projects. There is the Tung Chung East Extension, Siu Ho Wan Station, Tuen Mun South Station, Northern Link Phase 1 Kwu Tung Station, and Hong Shui Kyu Station. All these have commenced work. They will be commissioned starting from 2027. For the Northern Link, work will start next year. For the Hong Kong Island, South Island Line West, we have announced the adoption of a green smart transportation system. Next year, we will start detailed design and planning. The aim is to start advanced work in 2027. I will also take forward a cross-boundary rail projects, that is Hong Kong Shenzhen West and Hong Shui Kyu to Qianhai and Northern Link spur line. We will leverage on our advantage on infrastructure. I aim to improve efficiency and effectiveness. In relation to the East Kowloon smart transportation system, we have invited expressions of interest. We want to be innovative and open. We want to compress the procedures as much as possible. We will take forward projects in tandem. In terms of road network, for the Central Kowloon Trunk Road, work will be completed before the end of next year. I will urge relevant departments to make arrangements for the commissioning of this section. In terms of aviation, I will work with the Airport Authority to enhance Hong Kong's position as an international aviation hub. In the coming 2 years, we will expand our aviation network. The Bureau will be more proactive. We will make better planning more strategically to work and discuss in relation to airspace rights. The Airport Authority will announce a development plan for the expansion of the airport island. I will provide support to the authority. We hope that various projects will be completed in phases in an orderly manner so that Hong Kong will continue to be a leading airport hub in the region and in the world. Transportation and logistics are important industries for Hong Kong. Hong Kong will continue to play the role of a multimodal transportation and logistics hub. There are challenges. We face competitions from other areas. There is relocation of manufacturing industries as well as a geopolitical competition. But these challenges gives us a chance to strive to change. We will develop Hong Kong to become an entry port. We will enhance cooperation with GDP areas. We will develop smart ports and green ports. We will develop high value adding shipping industries. In the first half of next year, I will complete the newly restructured Hong Kong Port Development Board. We will come up with ideas to further develop the industry. In terms of people's livelihood issues, with the rationalization of the cross-harbor tunnels, we will introduce a bill to the LegCo. When we have taken back Tai Lam Tunnel in May next year, we will adopt a time-varying toll approach. We will actively promote smart transportation. In terms of mass transportation, my bureau will work with operators to enhance efficiency and safety. Our bureau will also be the gatekeeper. We want to ensure that public transport is affordable for the public. Regarding an issue that is of concern to the public, that is point-to-point transportation service and the future development of taxis and online hailing service, we will promote innovation of the industries and the sector. The new taxi fleet will be commissioned next year. There will be new regulatory regime for online hailing service. We will work out the legislative proposal next year. The aim is to offer the public efficient and safe online hailing service. I have heavy responsibilities and duties as the secretary. We will work with the sector. We will talk to the sector. I will work to forge consensus so that our policies will get the support of the public and the policies will serve the needs of the public.
最尾呢個
The floor is now open. The last row, this gentleman on the right-hand side.
RTHK. So what are your expectations and priorities of your new role and what you want to achieve in the coming 2.5 years? And also the CE mentioned that he's confident in your leadership and articulation skills and also proactiveness, like how to plan to use such qualities to serve the general public. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I have been the permanent secretary in the Transport and Logistics Bureau. I have a good knowledge of the policy areas under my portfolio. I know my colleagues well. I am an action-oriented and proactive working style, and I'm confident that I will bring impetus to the Bureau in taking forward the various policy initiatives as set out in the Chief Executive's 2024 Policy Address. In particular, our focus will be on to further develop Hong Kong as an international shipping center and an international aviation hub. Apart from that, the transport and railway development is very pivotal to the economic development of Hong Kong. As I've just mentioned, we have promulgated a transport and traffic blueprint, which lists out a number of railway and road projects. In the coming years, I will be leading my bureau in taking forward steadfastly in order to make sure that these projects are implemented and constructed on time within budget in order to better serve the population intake in the various areas. As regards the aviation and the shipping centers are concerned, Hong Kong has been a very international city. We have extensive connections with the various parts of the world. It is important that we leverage on our unique advantage of being part of the mainland and our advantage under the one country, two systems in order to connect ourselves with the mainland markets and the global markets. We should better serve our mainland as a super connector in order to enable the various industries and enterprises to use Hong Kong as a platform in order to better connect with the world. With the development and implementation of the third runway system, my bureau will take a more proactive and more strategic framework and approach in extending and negotiating our discussions with our aviation partners in order to unleash our potential in the Hong Kong International Airport, in order to build our connections to better connect to the mainland cities as well as the global markets. Lastly, as regards the shipping center, no doubt that we are facing a lot of serious challenges, but this is a good opportunity for us to work in partnership with our stakeholders to build Hong Kong's brand and to rebuild our competitiveness. The recent promulgation of our action plan on the Green Shipping Bunkering Center lists out a number of measures, which I am confident that with the industry's support and participation, we will increase and enhance our competitiveness and be more proactive in attracting more the ocean-going vessels to come to Hong Kong to add their green fuel, as well as to enable them to come to Hong Kong to do business. Thank you.
好，下度提問。左邊第二行嘅女記者。
Next question, this lady over here. I'm from News. Good afternoon, Secretary. Many mainland cities are promoting smart city transport. Now, you mentioned the same in your plan. I'd like to know the specifics. What will you be doing to our infrastructure network? Well, that's a very good question. Thank you. In the past 2 years of the current term of government, we rolled out the rationalization of cross-harbor tunnel traffic as well as the time-varying tolls that we will introduce to Thailand Tunnel in the near future. This is implemented on the basis of smart urban transport. Now, LegCo members and government officials have gone on duty visits to mainland cities. They've also learned a lot from traffic management in these cities. That is how they leverage on science and artificial intelligence, big data in improving real-time traffic management. Very soon, we're going to publish a strategic report on transport policy. In this study, we're going to tell the public how we will make better use of technology and infrastructure to make our transport system more efficient for the public, for them to be able to make arrangements more conveniently. However, our land is limited and it is impossible for us to continue to build more roads. So we need to optimize our public transport services with these limitations to better serve the public. And this is something that I will continue to work hard on. Now, on innovation technology, recently, for Kai Tak and East Kowloon, we have issued an invitation for expression of interest. And we do look forward to players leveraging on the latest technology in the mainland to give us some ideas. And we have received rather keen responses, and we're conducting preliminary analysis. As for the green transport system in Kai Tak, our goal is to start tendering early next year. And following that, for East Kowloon, likewise, tendering will begin in 2026. Through smart, innovative systems, we strive to enhance efficiency and speed. More importantly, what is in front of us is to make up for the time we've lost and be innovative. Next question, this gentleman in white. Secretary, good afternoon. I have a number of questions. Do you have foreign citizenship? If so, how will it be handled? And about airspace rights, now this is crucial to maximizing the third runway system. How will you negotiate with the mainland counterpart so as to meet the target of 102 movements for the third runway system? And what's your comment for the outgoing secretaries? In terms of their performance, what do you think are the shortcomings and how are you going to boost your performance? Well, I'll try to take all the three questions, but let me take the last one first. Mr. Lam Sai Hong has been working alongside with me, and we have been good partners. And riding on that, we'll continue to work in unity with my team so as to achieve results, like Chief Executive just now said, so that our people will have a better understanding of our policies. And on this note, I will enhance communication with various sectors of the community and the public so as to tell good stories of Hong Kong. Now, on aviation, the third runway system has now been commissioned. Our goal is to continue to enhance our aviation capacity in an orderly manner. According to the basic law, we are an independent entity in terms of negotiating airspace rights with our global partners. And we are grateful to the central authorities for their long-standing trust in us. So on airspace rights negotiations, recently we have optimized our internal arrangements. In other words, we have stepped up our research work. We also work with airliners and other policy bureaus. We are the coordinator, and we put in place a more strategic framework. In other words, when we negotiate with a new partner on airspace rights, or when we negotiate for expansion of the current airspace network, we bear in mind that our goal is to consolidate our status as an international aviation hub, and at the same time, we want to have diversity so as to maximize the capacity of the third runway system. Now, to take the last question about myself, I want to tell you very clearly that I do not hold any foreign passport.
Let's hear from the last reporter. I'm from Singtao. First of all, I'd like to ask this. You said a number of times that you would like to provide affordable public transport to the public, but we're now talking about fare raise of buses. Well, legislators think that the extent of the increase is too much, and some people say that it's a it's a structural problem. How are you going to deal with it? Just now you talk about, well, other than major policies, you were also in charge of electronic road charging of Central Western District. Will you put forward this issue again? In relation to affordability of public transport, it's never been an easy issue. We need to strike a balance. Hong Kong's public transportation network excels in the world. We allow private companies to operate certain modes of transport without the involvement of the government. Other cities have been learning from Hong Kong. Transport is very important to the public. When we handle proposals to increase fare by transport operators, we have to bear in mind that it should be affordable to the public. We handle the issues very carefully. At the same time, we're aware that financial sustainability is very important for these operators as well. We don't allow profiteering. We want to ensure that the operators will devote sufficient resources to improve service quality. We ask them to invest in new energy. We ask them to enhance the safety and the training of drivers. All these are very important. We are the gatekeeper. We carry out this role vigorously. We want to show the public that we monitor public transport vigorously. You ask about the electronic road pricing in Central and Western District. Technology has been advancing in leaps and bounds. We are never stationary. We monitor the situation as it's changing. We take into account the traffic situation of that area. We take a comprehensive view when it comes to public transportation in Hong Kong. Thank you. This is the end of the second segment. We will start the third one shortly. This is the last segment of the press conference. Let's invite Ms. Rosanna Law. We will first hear from Ms. Rosanna Law. Friends from the media, Hong Kong people, once again, I thank the CE for his nomination. I thank the appointment by the central authorities for me to become the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. I look forward to my new post. At the same time, I feel the weight of my responsibilities. As I said, culture, sports and tourism are important policy sectors. In terms of culture, under the 14th Five-Year Plan, Hong Kong is set to become an international East-West exchange center. We will make use of our connection with the world and the support of our country. We will enhance the influence of Chinese culture. We will promote the rejuvenation of our nation. In the speech of presidency on the 1st of July, he said that we have to maintain our unique characteristics. We have the support of our country. We're well connected with the rest of the world. This is indeed our unique characteristics. The central authority supports Hong Kong so that we can maintain our advantage. We will move forward to become an international East-West cultural exchange center. I am very honored to be the secretary so that I can take forward the area of work. In terms of sports, of course, we have to make sure that the preparation work of the Kai Tak Sports Park go well. We will conduct different tests. We work with different stakeholders so that we can complete all the drills and tests. With the commissioning of the Kai Tak Sports Park, Hong Kong will work with Macau SAR as well as Guangdong provincial government to take forward the 15th National Games. Athletes from different places will make use of the stage of the National Games to shine. We make use of the opportunity to enhance the sense of identification of Hong Kong people. We want to provide an excellent experience of visitors visiting Hong Kong and other cities in the GBA. We want them to feel the vitality of Hong Kong. Tourism is an important sector for Hong Kong. It gives business to different segments such as retail, catering, transportation, and entertainment. The tourism sector employs a large number of people. It's heavily related to the economic development of Hong Kong. It's also intertwined with the lives of Hong Kong people. Recently, the central authorities has announced a number of supporting measures for Hong Kong. I am thankful for the support and care of the central authorities. There are plenty of opportunities for the tourism sector. I will work and talk to the stakeholders to make good use of these supporting measures. This Sunday, the pair of giant pandas gifted by the central authorities will meet the public. I look forward to that. On top of that, there is the resumption of multiple entry of individual visit schemes. Hong Kong people are flexible and innovative. I'm sure that Hong Kong people will seize the opportunities and make changes so that there will be tourism everywhere in Hong Kong. The sector will scale new heights. I noticed that colleagues in the Bureau have been doing a lot of work. Recently, the Blueprint for Arts and Culture and Creative Industries Development has been announced. There are 4 development directions. One, namely, a promotion of Chinese culture, highlighting Hong Kong's characteristics, development of various industries, and to build a platform for cultural exchange, as well as the enhancement of the art and creative industries ecosystem. Some of the initiatives have already started. Others will start next year. The SFNOC has just completed the review on governance of NSA's National Sports Associations. They have submitted a report and proposed guidelines. I'm sure that the NSAs will work with SFNOC to take forward the initiatives set out in the report so that governance as well as operation efficiency will improve. These are important work. This will pave the way forward. The Bureau plans to announce the blueprint for tourism development. I will talk to my colleagues to get a better picture of their work. I will explain to them my ideas and my philosophy. I will be humble and pragmatic. I will liaise with the different counterparts. I'll meet with old friends and make new ones. I will have frank exchange with different parties. Of course, I look forward to hearing your views and your suggestions. It is my honor to become the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. I look forward to working with different stakeholders to promote the high quality development of culture, sports and tourism. I work with you to make contributions. Thank you.
係咪徐正？
The floor is now open. If you want to ask questions, please raise your hand. On the right-hand side, this lady. I'm from Shenzhen Satellite TV. You mentioned multi-entry IVS and the national games. The SAR government will be closely liaising with the counterparts, and how will you foster this exchange and expedite work? Well, thank you for your question. Be it multiple entry IVS for Shenzhen residents or the national games, all along we have been communicating very smoothly with our counterparts. As the new secretary, I will, of course, get an understanding of this part of work immediately. As I mentioned just now, I'll be making new friends, meeting old friends as well. That means I will be talking to our counterparts, and we'll make a joint effort. Next question, second row on the right-hand side. Good afternoon. I'm from Now TV. You don't seem to have the experience of culture, sports, or tourism in your portfolio, and that's also the pain point of Mr. Kevin Yeung. Are you confident you'll be able to do this job well? And what do you think? What qualities do you think you have in doing this job well? Well, no one knows everything. Now, I have been an administrative officer, and what is unique for this job is that every few years I change to a new field, I take up a new post, but as always we do our best in getting our hands on the job as quickly as possible. I remember about 16 months ago I was deployed to the Housing Bureau. Although I did not have any experience in housing, I became the director of housing. And I just learned what I had to do as quickly as possible. And I'm sure that my colleagues will continue to give me the best support they could. This gentleman on the right-hand side.
From RTHK. So first of all, what are your job priorities in your tenure of 2.5 years? And also, what are the most critical areas of work for which you want to see improvements in the Bureau? And also, given that you had no previous experience in the Bureau, like how do you plan to use your strengths to serve the general public? Thank you.
Thank you. There are several important areas in the portfolio of culture, sports, and tourism. First of all, of course, in the National 14th Five-Year Plan, it is clearly stated that Hong Kong is supported to develop into an East-West center for international cultural exchange. This will allow Hong Kong to fully leverage its strength in international creativity and experiences in external exchanges under the one country, two system. This is obviously an important priority. Hong Kong has distinctive advantages in enjoying the strong support of the motherland, while being closely connected. Obviously, the most important thing is the opening of the Kai Tak Sports Park. And with the successful organization of the 15th National Games. We will have to work very, very closely with Guangdong Province and Macau SAR. This will allow athletes to shine, Hong Kong people to strengthen their national identity, and for visitors to have a great time in Hong Kong. For tourism, I'm most grateful to the central government for the recently announced supporting measures for Hong Kong, including the new pair of adorable new pandas and the resumption of the multiple entry policy for Shenzhen residents. Opportunities are everywhere. And so my priority would be to learn the latest development of my bureau's work and then to meet old friends, make new friends, have candid, useful, constructive discussions with all stakeholders with a view of bringing culture, sports, and tourism to new heights.
好，下一條提問，右手邊。
Next question. This lady on the right. I'm from Hong Kong 01. Good afternoon, Secretary. Now, in terms of tourism development of the SAR government in the past 2 years and a half, what is your comment as the new secretary? What will you do to keep it on the right track? As I said just now, the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau has been making an all-out effort, and our colleagues have worked tirelessly. Of course, I need to learn the latest developments of my bureau, so I'm not going to comment on the work. But like Chief Executive said, it is the government's responsibility to solve problems. It is our duty to work even harder to solve problems. The last question for today's conference. Second row, this gentleman. Good afternoon, Secretary. Now, you mentioned preparation for the commissioning of the Kai Tak Sports Park. I understand that there are arrangements for crowd dispersal put in place by other bureaus. So before the formal commissioning of the Kai Tak Sports Park, is it possible from your bureau's point of view for more activities to be held, such as carnivals, so as to be more inclusive for people to enjoy the facility there? Thank you for your question. Same as other major facilities for Kai Tak Sports Park, it is a 50,000 seating capacity major infrastructure for Hong Kong. So we're concerned about the smooth operation, crowd management, as well as whether we're able to deliver a good experience for our visitors. All these are important. And only by making everything right will we be able to give a good experience to our visitors and allow our performance to deliver the best performance there. I understand that there are different tests going on in relation to, say, sports, games, concerts, outdoor, indoor performances. All these will give us the opportunity to acquire experience for the smooth opening of Kai Tak Sports Park. Thank you, Secretary. That's the end of today's press conference. Thank you.